Welcome to the SQN Education, Politics, Society. For the first time you join in the program, please subscribe to the channel, like, share and comment your opinion with everyone. Today, we introduce to you a subject, bowed ahead. Hopefully these videos will help you in life, work and study. Now, let's get started. Why do they have to bow your head? Japanese people bow to greet, bow to show gratitude, bow to apologize, bow to respect the elderly. It's their culture. Japan is a country with a developed economy but still retains the traditional features that make up the unique beauty of the Japanese people and country, including the greeting culture. They are a country with such a high status in the world, but why do they have to bow? The act of bowing to others is considered a manifestation of humility, gratitude and respect. At the main gate of schools, children bow deeply to teachers and say, "Good morning." When leaving, they also carefully bow deeply and say, "Thank you." Students bow to each other, colleagues bow to each other, family members bow to each other. That is a common scene in Japan. The ancients often said, "The appearance is born from the mind, each person's mind gives rise to a different appearance. Each person's mind will give rise to different actions." An arrogant person, a person who looks down on others, will not naturally bow to others. On the contrary, people who know how to respect people, respect nature, and always have gratitude will naturally become humble. So, aren't people who are always humble and know how to bow their heads rich in heart, well-educated, and worthy of respect? It is also said, "There is another sky beyond the sky." There are more talented people than others. Therefore, treating others with humility and respect will earn them more respect. For example, a Chinese girl came to Japan for the first time. That day, she was walking in a quiet alley behind her house. She saw a small Japanese woman in her 60s slowly walking across the street. She saw that she was much taller than women. The Japanese woman seemed to be less than 150 centimeters tall. When the Japanese woman with a round back walked in front of her, the woman smiled and said, "Hello," to her and bowed very politely, her back bent about 90 degrees. She was shocked in a sense. In a hurry, she also said, "Hello," and bowed awkwardly with the intention of imitating her. However, she was not used to bowing when greeting, so she only bowed a little. She was a complete stranger. The bow that a gentle Japanese old woman gave to her, a person who had just come from China, bowed to her with her back bent 90 degrees. She would never forget that figure. It was the first time in her life that someone greeted her like that. After returning home, she talked to her husband about how people could greet her so politely. She was much younger than her, and she was also a stranger. Her husband smiled and replied, "Japanese people are like that." Don't be surprised, 3 days later, when she met a Japanese man in his 50s who was her husband's colleague at her husband's workplace. That man also bowed to her very politely and said, "Nice to meet you. I look forward to receiving your help." But at that time, she only replied, "I look forward to receiving your help," from the car and nodded back. She did not bow or greet. She felt very embarrassed and regretful about this. After her child went to elementary school, one day her child's homeroom teacher came to visit. At the front door, the teacher bowed first. She also bowed her head, but when she raised her head, she saw that the teacher was still bowing, so she bowed her head again. After a while, they both raised their heads. The homeroom teacher talked a lot about her child's strengths, things that even as a mother like her, she said that there were things she was completely unaware of. As a child, of course there would be some shortcomings that needed to be fixed. When she talked about those points, the homeroom teacher said, "You are still a child, so you should have those points too." The two of them talked for a while. Finally, the teacher said, "I have been looking forward to receiving your help throughout the school year," and bowed deeply. As a Chinese mother, she was very surprised. After living in Japan for a long time, she discovered that the higher the status of the Japanese, the more humble they are. She could not forget that when the Tohoku region of Japan was damaged by the tsunami, the emperor and his wife visited the earthquake in Sichuan, China. A Japanese rescue team also bowed to the Chinese people who died and offered a silent prayer. Japanese people bow their heads, but people show respect to them because it is their culture. In society, there are also contemptuous bows, such as bowing to other countries, bowing to flatter others, bowing to let others rich man. They are all bows, but the value they bring is different. This is a shameful bow. Thank you for watching the videos of SQN program. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like, and share this information for many people to know. See you again in the next videos. Thank you very much.